We're taking a break from the ice types for just a video or two, and now it's time to finish off the legendary beasts with Entei. Now, just before we get into this challenge, I do have to be that very annoying content creator by very nicely asking if you are enjoying these challenges and you want to see more, make sure to click the subscribe button. And while you're down towards the bottom part of the video, I'd be very curious to know which of the 3 legendary beasts do you think will do best now that we've got the third one out, and if we were to factor in the paradox forms, so walking wake, raging bolt and gouging fire, which do you think would do best out of those 3 as well? I'm sure we can find out in the new year. But for now, we must turn our attention back to Entei. Let's take a look at the stats going into this challenge. We are level 5 with 28 HP. Holding a berry, and our 2 moves are Bite and Leer. We've got 18 in attack, 14 in defense, 15 in special attack, 14 in special defense, and 16 in speed. Those are the stats we're running with for the start of the challenge. Let's get the graphics up and the challenge underway. Of course, I'll show you the very first encounter we have with a wild Pokémon. It's a level 3 Sentret, and it's going to be a 2-shot with Bite. That means we can start making our way towards the first rival battle, and the rival's going to have the Totodile line in this one. It is a bit of a formality because we're not really going to be affected too badly by the Totodile line. We knock it out in 3 shots, we grow to level 7, and we can make our way towards our first gym together. This is Faulkner's flying type gym, and he's going to lead with Pidgey. We've got Ember by this point, and that's going to be a 2-shot on the Pidgey. However, it has gone straight for Mud Slap. That means our accuracy is lowered. Fortunately, the Pidgeotto is not going for Mud Slap, so we do scrape through this battle. We get through it and obtain the Zephyr Badge in 7 minutes and 13 seconds, but that is including Sprout Tower. Let's move on to Bugsy, our second gym leader, a Bug-type specialist who leads with Metapod. This is going to be a very easy battle. It's a 1-shot on both of the Cocoon Pokemon. The Scyther comes out, we outspeed, we knock it out in 2, and we lose a whole 5 HP's worth of damage. Hive Badge in 13 minutes and 15 seconds. We cannot celebrate for too long though. If there's any rival battle that's going to give us grief, it's going to be this one. It's Rival 2, he's going to lead with Ghastly. That's going to be a very easy start to this battle. We'll use Bite, it's going to be a 1-shot. Here comes Croconaw. Bite takes off a fair chunk of damage, then we get a double flinch. We don't take any damage from Croconaw. We'll use Swift on the Zubat to take it deep into the red. We'll finish it off on turn number 2. And that was about as easy as Rival 2 could have got. Let's try and keep this up now as we face Whitney. She's our 3rd gym leader. Of course, she's a normal type specialist, but she has rollout. We crit the Clefairy, so it goes down in 1, and the cow starts to roll. We get very lucky though, because rollout misses when it would have knocked us out, and that means we get through Whitney on our first try in a time of 18 minutes and 58 seconds. Let's now move on to the 3rd rival battle. And this time the rival leads, of course, with Haunter. We've still got Bite, so that's going to be a very nice easy start to this battle. Up next is Croconaw. We're going to start with another Bite, fishing for a flinch. It doesn't happen, but we do flinch on turn 2, and we'll finish it off with Headbutt on turn 3. Zubat comes out to play, we'll use Swift, we knock it out in 1, and the final Pokemon is Magnemite. We've got Ember for Magnemite, that's a simple 1-shot to finish off the battle. We'll fall through the floor in 23 minutes and 12 seconds, and suddenly we're in front of Morty. This is Morty, our 4th gym together, a dual Ghost and Poison type spectacular gym, who leads with Ghastly. We still have Bite on the learn set, it's a 1-shot on the Ghastly and the Haunter. Gengar comes out to play, Gengar gets flinched, we knock it out in 2. The final Pokemon as Haunter will continue biting, we knock it out in 1. And that is our Fog Badge in 25 minutes and 1 second. We're doing Jasmine next because that's the easiest type matchup of the 3 next gym leaders. We'll use Ember against the Magnemite to knock it out in 1. We get the option to learn Fire Spin, which is terrible, so we say no. We'll start Embering the Steelix as it gets burnt. We knock it out in 2, courtesy of the burn damage. We'll finish off the last Magnemite with another Ember, and that's Jasmine's Badge, the Mineral Badge, in 29 minutes and 41 seconds. Now let's cross the open seas to Chuck. He's our 6th gym leader together, a fighting type specialist who leads with Primeape. We'll use Headbutt on turns 1 and 2 to knock it out, and here comes Poliwrath. Poliwrath uses Mind Reader but flinches, so we take no damage at all from the Chuck battle. Storm Badge in a time of 31 minutes and 46 seconds. A quick trip round the Rocket Underground later, we find ourselves in front of Price. He's an Ice type specialist who leads with Seal. We one-shot the Seal, we two-shot the Dugong, we grow to level 36, and here comes Piloswine. We'll use Headbutt on turn 1, we'll finish it off with Ember on turn 2. Another damageless gym battle, this time for the Glacier badge, in 38 minutes and 38 seconds. Let's get out of this cold gym and get on to the 4th and penultimate rival battle. This time he's going to lead with Golbat. That's fine for us, we've got Hidden Power Ice on the learn set. We take it deep into the red and we finish it off on turn number 2. Feraligatr comes out, we'll use Return against the Feraligatr, and it's looking like a 2-shot. That brings us nicely onto Haunter. We don't have Bite at this point, so we're going to have to use Ember twice instead. And then his last 2 Pokemon are both weak to fire. So it's a one-shot on Sneasel Pleasel, it's also a one-shot on Magnemite, and we defeat the 4th rival battle in 45 minutes and 17 seconds. We finish off the Rockets and make our way into Claire's gym. Claire is our final Johtonian gym leader, a Dragon-type specialist who leads with Dragonair. We one-shot the first Dragonair with Hidden Power Ice, and then Kingdra comes into play. We'll start off with a Headbutt fishing for a flinch. It doesn't happen this time, but we two-shots with Return afterwards. That brings us on to Dragonair number 2. We'll swap to Hidden Power. Smokescreen is meaningless in this battle because we one-shot both of them first try. And that's Claire done in 52 minutes and 51 seconds. Not bad at all, considering we are still running with Ember. We're going to change that very soon in just 4 levels time in the league, but we'll have to make do with that for rival number 5. He leads with Sneasel Pleasel this time, we'll one-shots with Return. Feraligatr comes out, and once again we're going to fish for a flinch. Doesn't happen, but Water Gun is meaningless at this point. Golbat comes out, we'll use Hidden Power Ice, we one-shot this time, and the next Pokemon is Haunter. We'll use another Hidden Power, take it deep into the red, but we end up confused. We don't hit ourselves in confusion as we grow to level 48. We don't hit ourselves against the Kadabra either. The last Pokemon is Magneton, we use Ember, we don't hit ourselves for a 3rd time in a row, and we get through the rival for one last time in 57 minutes on the nose. And with that, we're at the Pokemon League, so we'll heal up whether we need to or not, and now it's time to thank the HM friends. So it's a big thank you to Kenya, to Abra, to Psyduck, and merci to Paris. You've all been a great help in the Johto region, get yourselves some well-deserved rest, while Entei prepares to take on the Pokemon League. We'll get our full restores, and now let's take a look at our stats. And going into the league, we are level 48 with 197 HP. Holding the Nevmelt Ice with Return, Hidden Power Ice, Ember, and Headbutt. 151 in attack, 119 in defense, 125 in special attack, 111 in special defense, 135 in speed. Those, of course, are the outer battle stats. Will get a big buff in battle, as we'll see now, against Will. He's our first league member, a Psychic type specialist who leads with Xatu. We'll one-shot the Xatu with Hidden Power Ice, and here comes Slowbro. We fish for a flinch and we get one with Headbutts. We don't get one on turn 2, but we'll knock it out on turn number 3. Xatu number 2 comes into play, we'll use Hidden Power to knock it out in 1. Jinx is up next, we've got Return for her, as we always seem to have, and the last Pokemon is Executor. Hidden Power Ice does a little bit more than Ember, so we'll use that, we knock it out in 1. So we're through Will on our first try in 58 minutes and 29 seconds. Second up is Koga, the Poison type specialist who leads with Ariados. We start off this battle incredibly strong with a pair of one-shots. It's 1 for the Ariados and 1 for the Fortress, and up next is Muck. We'll swap to Headbutt for the Muck, fishing for a flinch again, it doesn't happen, but we knock it out on turn 2 with Return. Crobat comes out next, and once again we're going for a flinch. Once again it doesn't happen, and Return misses. He then goes for another double team, he doesn't status us, and that is huge. That means we can finish off the Venomoth and we get a very easy Koga battle in 59 minutes and 12 seconds. Bruno's up third, a fighting type specialist who leads with Hitmontop. We flinch the Hitmontop with Headbutt, that means we don't take super effective dig damage. Up second is Onyx, it's got no special defense, so goes down to a single Hidden Power Ice. Machamp comes out third. Once again we fish for a flinch, and once again this time we get it. So that's a 2-shot on the Machamp. Hitmonlee is going to be a 1-shot with Return. The final Pokemon is Hitmonchan. We take a little bit of damage from Muck Punch, we knock it out in 1. That's first try Bruno in 59-56. Karen's our last league member, a Dark-type specialist who leads with Umbreon. We've used the HP up strategy, but it didn't work this time. We flinch the Umbreon on turn number 2 though, and we knock it out with a return. We'll use Hidden Power against the Gengar, it's going to swear at us, so we are now on a clock for the rest of this battle. Murkrow comes out to play Hidden Power as a one-shot, and it's against Murkrow we grow to level 51. We finally have Flamethrower, and of course the first Pokemon in front of us is a Fire type, so we can't use it. Instead we'll Headbutt the Houndoom, we critical hit to knock it out in 1, and now we will Ignite the Vileplume to finish the battle off. Karen done in 1 hour and 53 seconds. There's only one obstacle between us and the Hall of Fame now. It's time for Lance, the Liar with the Flyers, who leads with Gyarados. Lance's AI makes Gyarados free because he's going to go for Rain Dance on turn 1. That means we can finish it off with a pair of Headbutt and Return. Aerodactyl's up next. Now unfortunately Hidden Power Ice is not a one-shot, so we end up taking some damage from a Rock Slide. I fished for a flinch, it didn't happen, but it doesn't really matter. That would have just made the battle slightly quicker. We've got decent enough special attacks, so the level 47 Dragonite are both going to be a one-shot with Hidden Power Ice. And that means we're on to Charizard. We'll fish for a flinch and we get it turn 1, we'll finish it off with a return on turn 2. The last Pokemon is the level 50 Dragonite, that's going to be a one-shot. Very nice and simple last battle in a time of 1 hour, 1 minute and 57 seconds. And that gives Entei a 16th place Hall of Fame time with 1 hour, 2 minutes and 13 seconds. We'll have to see if it keeps it up because this is of course only half of the story. There's another 8 gym badges plus the red fight left to come, so don't you dare go anywhere. Kanto is next. And we rejoin the action as we always do here in Vermilion City, where the first thing we do in Kanto is the last thing we do in Johto. We're going to get another rare candy, this time from the chairman of the Pokemon Fan Club. And with that safely tucked away in our bag for another challenge, I am more than happy to announce that Entei is incredibly capable of taking on our standard Kantonian routing. So we'll start here at Lieutenant Surge, we'll move our way over to Erica, then it's down to Janine, up to Sabrina, even further up to Misty, across to Brock in Pewter City, down to Blaine in the Seafoam Islands, and then we'll finish off with the blue fight. And talking of the blue fight, if you do want to jump ahead to that, it's going to be happening at around about 15 minutes and 14 seconds. For everybody else, let's now sit back, relax, and have our standard Kantonian chat. And in this one, I want to start off by talking about the importance of perseverance, especially when it comes to all things Pokemon. Not only playing the game and doing challenge runs, but with backporting as well. At the time of recording, I've just done quite a few backports in preparation for January. Some of them will end up being streams before then as well. However, the common theme between all of these Pokemon is I had failed to backport them for some reason in the past. The 3 that are standing out to me at the moment are Luxray, Swellow and Roselia. A lot of them shared the same common problem in I just wasn't skilled enough last time I tried them to get their sprite work spot on. Luxray, for instance, is a very difficult line to get right because it's got a lot of dark features, and that means with the nature of Generation 2 sprites, you're going to lose a lot of the depth because you only get black, white and 2 other colours to create every sprite for every single Pokemon. I did eventually get Luxray as good as it could possibly be, and the next stumbling block for that was Charge, because Charge is an incredibly pesky move to do. It boosts your electric type moves for the next turn only in Generation 4, and you've got to have a special defense increase on top of that. Took a while for me to code it, but I did eventually get there, but the important thing was I persevered. Now Swellow is the Pokemon I have wanted to run ever since I learned how to backport. I tried making a sprite for it all the way back in September 2023, and quite frankly the sprites for all of the line were terrible. So what I did was I took some time off, I kept all the base code there for the moves, and then now when I feel more confident about doing the sprite work, I went in again and the difference is amazing. It's gone from being one of the worst looking sprites I have ever made to, in my opinion, being the best sprite work I have ever done for a Pokemon line. And that brings us on to Roselia. I've realised I've not backported many grass types at all, so I wanted to do one from Generation 3, because that's where the focus of the channel is going in the next few months. But again, it was a colour issue. I have a condition called deuteranomaly, which makes my green vision significantly weaker than the other colours, and with Roselia being a primarily green Pokemon, and then having 2 different coloured flowers, it was a very big endeavour to try and make it at least passable as a Generation 2 sprite. I am pleased to say I have made it work, and I'm looking forward to doing that backport as a video, probably sometime in spring. Now this, once again, is the open call for any backport requests. If there's something you'd particularly like to see and I think it'll fit in the schedule, I'll absolutely work to get it done. But now let's rejoin the action here at Blue. He's our final gym leader together. He is a mixed type specialist who leads with Pidgeot. Even though we've got Hidden Power Ice on the learn set, it's not going to one-shot. So we fish for a flinch with Headbutt, it doesn't work out, but we take only slight damage from a wing attack. Rhydon's out next, we'll use Hidden Power, we take it down in one courtesy of a critical hit. Gyarados is third, once again we try for a flinch but it doesn't work out. However, Hydro Pump misses and he doesn't go for the heal. Blue has just thrown this battle. We'll one-shot Alakazam, Arcanine is next. It's going to use Extreme Speed, that doesn't matter. It's going to be a two-shot, there's only one Pokemon left to go. Executor is last, we've got Flamethrower, the rain has stopped. We one-shot, we grow to level 60, and we defeat Blue in 1 hour, 17 minutes and 18 seconds. And with that, we're ready for Red. We'll make our way into the Silver Cave where Red is waiting for us. He's the final trainer of the challenge, and he leads with Pikachu. We outspeed the Pikachu, but surprisingly, Return is not a one-shot. That means we get charmed, but we're still going to see just how bad the rest of this battle is. We get through the Pikachu, and up next is Peskeon. We use Flamethrower and take off just under half health. We critical hit on turn number 2 though, and we get to see the Blastoise. Headbutt's doing nothing, that's going to be our best option at the moment. Surf comes out to play, and one-shots. Let's use some rare candies. I was debating Swagger as well, but I'm not that desperate yet. We now one-shot the Pikachu at level 63, so we're only battling 5 Pokemon. We still don't have anything consistent to two-shot Espeon though. This is going to be our first issue. We get through Espeon, but we take a fair amount of damage. We haven't been charmed though, so we can see how Blastoise is, and the answer is terrible. Let's use some more rare candies. Up to 66 we go. And we're going to do something slightly different here. Instead of going for the Swagger strats, we're going for Sunny Day and Solar Beam. We have a super effective move of 120 base power that can hit the Blastoise. We're not going to set up against Pikachu this time though. Instead we're going to set up on the Espeon. We'll get the sun out, we'll use Flamethrower because it also boosts our Flamethrower. That's now going to be a two-shot. Blastoise comes into play, we'll see how we go. Solar Beam is strong, but not strong enough to one-shot. That means we're going to have to set up the sun again, and we're going to have to use another Solar Beam. We knock it out in 2 shots, so we at least get to see the Snorlax. A Sunny Day boosted Flamethrower does quite a bit of damage, but we're going to get knocked out by Body Slam. We'll use our last 4 rare candies, we'll also hold the leftovers now. Let's see how we go. One shot on the Pikachu, we don't need to think about that, so we're back onto Espeon. We use Sunny Day, we take some damage from Psychic, but we are now going to be passively healing health. It's going to be a 2-shot with Flamethrower on the Espeon. Reflect is up, we don't really care about that. The big thing to think about at the moment is this Blastoise. We get a lot of damage off on it on turn 1. We go back to the sun on turn 2 to counter the rain. We finish it off with a Solar Beam, and here comes Snorlax. Snorlax is going to be the next big threat, and our only option is to brute force our way through this bear. I was fishing for a burn with Flamethrower, but the big thing here is not to get paralysed. We get very, very lucky that Snorlax doesn't go to sleep. We end up getting through it without being paralysed, and we're on 112 for the Charizard. We use Return and it's looking like a 3-shot. Flamethrower's dealing bits of damage here and there, but we get through the Charizard. And with that, it is safe to say we have won the battle. Giga Drain isn't strong enough for Venusaur to one-shot, so he goes for Solar Beam. We knock it out and we defeat Red in 1 hour, 22 minutes and 22 seconds. And that puts us in a very deserved 12th place on the leaderboard. It's in between Porygon 2 and Articuno, that's probably where it belongs. That does push the original Giraffare challenge into the page 3 drop zone. Talking of page 3, we have a new leader with Domfan, and Magneton is now all the way down in the page 4 drop zone. Quagsire joins page 4 to head it up. Shuckle is still all the way down there in 104th place. And of course, there's going to be no change to the top 10. It's still Dodrio in first, Ho in second, Pidgeot in third, and Lugia's in the page 1 drop zone. But with that, we are done. So I really hope you've enjoyed this one. If you have, make sure to leave a like. If you've got any feedback, leave it in the comments down below. If you want to see more just like this, click the subscribe button. And until next time when Stantler's getting another try in Pokemon Crystal, I'll say thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you all very, very soon.